r/AskMen. Live at length in a 69 says. What's been your experience with religion? Zmshayafi 1986x says. I'm an atheist. I have no problem with the people who use their religion to guide their life and find meaning in it. My issue lies with the people who use it to limit the rights and freedoms of people whose lives they don't agree with. Huang says. Raised religious. Both my parents regular church goers. I opted out as a kid because it didn't interest me and never really went back as an adult. I remain interested in religion in general, but Christianity isn't for me. Dude says. I was born Catholic, was quite devout myself. As soon as I became an adult, it started making less sense until I just stopped believing. My belief is that if children weren't indoctrinated into their parents' religion, religions would go away fast. Coadza says. Religion. Mostly fine. Religious people. Pretty hit or miss. Pop Goes Me Back says. Could never get into it. Does not make sense to me. Mtrabiknut says. I'm 65 now and an evangelical Christian. Grew up in church that was fairly fundamental: no smoking, drinking, drugs, sex, movies, or dancing. Around 19 or 20 I started asking myself what I believed and backed away for about 20 years. I kept searching for something but couldn't find it. I tried alcohol and sex, then gave up the other vices when those two didn't work. But then I decided that nothing else was working, so I came back in '98. I started reading the Bible daily and still do. That has changed my life more than anything. Finally married at 50 to a wife who has always been in church as well. We go most every Sunday. We feel that we are fed by the sermons they teach and challenge us. Coming back to faith has changed my life in ways I never could do by myself. I really did try. I found out that the something I was looking for was peace inside, and I have that now. I do not fear death. I think I would be sad to leave my wife and family in a sad state, but I'm ready to go home. I'm thankful for every single day that I get to wake up. My biggest struggle was unlearning some things and replacing them with new things. My youth was full of judgment and drama. It took a while to remap those behaviors, and I still struggle sometimes. The one thing I learned when I backed away was that when I didn't want to hear it, I didn't listen to anybody. So now, I will get involved in a conversation about my faith, but I'm not going to beat somebody over the head with my granny's coffee table Bible. I personally think a lot of things are still as wrong as I ever did, but I don't believe in beating people up over them. I welcome a peaceful, loving conversation with them. And I have learned that I'm wrong about a lot of things, still. So when my wife and I are having a conversation and I start blasting someone judgmentally, I try to back up and remember where I struggle. I'm sorry for a lot of things that the church or churches has done, and I work really hard to not be part of that. I'm still learning every day, and I'm loving more every day. I couldn't imagine living my life without my faith now. Unlikely Hearing says. I by no means want to come off preachy or down on anyone else's beliefs/experiences. Whatever works for you and enhances your life for the better is great. I say this being a Christian, but I think religion provides purpose to life that's hard to find anywhere else. It gives structure and comfort to me in a world of cruelty, tragedy, and terrifying mystery. It's nice to know that somewhere out there, someone or something is watching over us and loves us. To know that my suffering is all for a greater purpose, to make me stronger and to handle life. I don't think the churches all have the right idea. I definitely interchange some of my beliefs from the churches, not core values. I frequently question my religion. That's normal and totally okay. It's all a part of the journey. I do think there is a lot of good to salvage out of some religions despite questionable teachings. r/AskMen. OK Carry 8711 says. Where did all of the mesh boxes disappear to during the pandemic? I found some during the pandemic. Hanes X Temp. They disappeared and Hanes quit making them. Seemingly the only way to get them now is to pay like $17 per pair, and there's barely any options. In fact, after the pandemic, almost no boxes are able to be found compared with before the pandemic. All of a sudden 98% of the market seems to be only boxer briefs. Official Sandwichman says, I recommend Gillith Trading Company's bare naked boxer briefs. C for 55 says, okay, so I'm gonna preface this with, frick, brand loyalty. Now I'm gonna plug a company. I have been wearing bearskin boxers since the start of COVID, and my god dude, I own like 55 pairs now. They are the single most comfy things I own. Edit for clarity, bearskin.com is their website. It's a bunch of big dudes. I'm huge, 6 feet 5 inches 330, and couldn't find underwear anywhere, and these guys are the shit. Mratorba says, my brother, that's a frick in lot of boxes, so I'm inclined to believe you. Might try them out. First Doing Bean 2 says, I've tried all the major brands out there. The best I've found so far is the Target brand pair of thieves. They are mesh, breathable, and don't ride up the thighs. Statu says, ask your Mormon friends or neighbors for some mesh boxes. Lurker 1969 says, Gillith Trading, butt naked. All sorts of styles. Can't go wrong. Shop the sales. Wacky Area 7 says, if you're looking for actual boxers, I can't really help as I'm a boxer briefs type of guy. If you are after the mesh for better cooling, I like Saxx. Little more on the pricey side, but they hold up, so long as you take care of them. I work outside, so moisture and heat control are top priorities for me. I like the Volt specifically. Sir Percentage says, I've got about a dozen pair of ex officio for a few years now that are pretty good. Got them on Amazon for decent price. Canadari says, they took up mesh wrestling so they could be more competitive in mesh martial arts. A low umbrella says, Uncle Sam wants your sperm cooked. Zakrinix says, I replaced my mesh with Krakatoa pouch, David Archie pouch and men's thong. I feel amazing. Janai 2mm says, I bought Balt boxers and I really like them. Slept with Theodural says, dude, I was thinking the same thing. I used to get the Russell Cool Force Performance boxer briefs, and they are the most comfortable things on the frick I'm planet, yet they don't make them anymore, and I can't find them anywhere. Still have not found a pair that's similar. Miss Honor Boobs says, mine are the David Archie brand. I have gotten them reliably from Amazon. Not sure if they're available in stores. Observant Peria says, I don't know. Austin? Smell like a troll says, I just freeball. Problem solved. The only time it kind of sucks is when I manspray on the tube and a nut falls out the side of my shorts. Vivid Kitchen 1917 says, Amazon my dude. Dabflies says, who is out there still wearing loose boxers and not boxer briefs? Have fun with your knee-length nutsack by the time you're 45. Clumsazeel says, think that they were made with polyester and recent studies have shown that it acts as an insulator and keeps you warm ASL. Also that static electricity builds up and can shock you, reducing levels of testosterone. I know it sounds crazy as hell, but look it up, it's real. r/AskMen. Eritus says, what type of compliments do you want to hear from your so? Also, we know women can often get swept off their feet with sweet words. But I want to know, do you like hearing sweet nothings, in particular, from a person you have interest in? Former Zone 6160 says, I want her to want me. Different women express this in different ways. As long as it is clear and direct, it's good. Duberkature says, I could really care less about being called handsome or sexy. Obviously if someone is interested in me that's sort of a given, but I'd absolutely love to be told I'm helpful or smart, or something else related to my character more than my looks. My looks are just there. I didn't choose them. But I've spent the last 30 years building who I'm as a person. The 3C1 says, to be honest, a smile and a thank you would be bliss. Initial Zebra 100 says, I adore compliments. My lady loves to do so. I do the same for her. Men aren't a different species. Why can't we get flowers or compliments? Go to the gym says, just once I would love my wife to say that's a sweet K/D/A you have. Nathaniel 66 says, don't care much about words. Actions matter much more to me. Real Wicked 2345 says, I want to be appreciated and I want to feel wanted emotionally and sexually. Low Mood 23 says, compliment? What's that? Thalathathaxamon says, spontaneous and genuine. Most every partner I've ever had was good with compliments, but only when pressed or introduced. In the moment and heartfelt, even if simple, meant so much more. Scud Slug says, positive ones without anything additional. That shirt looks nice, but it would look better with black trousers and maybe do something with your hair. Alf the Coconut says, men need words of validation too, but we tend to put more emphasis on physical connections. For us, the physical part helps us with the emotional part. If we are in a dead bedroom, then words have lower value. You can tell your partner how much you love him and how much he means to you, but if you hold back on physical contact, he will have a hard time believing your words are sincere. Embarrassed Sort 308 says, I'd like to hear, oh, you're feeling depressed? What's going on? What's bothering you? Not just a look that I feel it's not important. Oh, point your arm is bothering you more today. For context on this, I have a C5 bulge and spur both touching my spinal cord. My arm's been weak since spring, not well my arms had been for X amount of time. Her nurse practitioner doesn't do nothing about her issue. I wish she could understand my difficulty. I work with my hands at work. I need some fine motor skills which I'm losing. I'm tired of the suck it up look. Like yes, I'm frustrated, I'm going to get aggressive and loud. Sorry. Jaded Respect 7895 says, any compliments? Guys never get those. Fortuna Metroxter says, swap it for a weekly blowy. Dr. Semi says, any compliments are lovely. Irregular Bastard says, a spontaneous nice kiss and genuine thank you. Or just rubbing my back as I fall asleep. Gandalf the Jaded says, most anything that shows she likes how I look or what I do. C. Kurtg says, simple things. Hi, morning, I'm thinking of you. You want to meet later? How's your day? Guess what? Some great ones. Thank you for your support or glad you showed up. Notice all of them are nothing but action. It shows she interested in me. About her good days and bad. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.